Push it closer, call it to zoom. Let me ignite every part of you. Spell it out, mama, tell me what you're feeling. Let my actions be what you're thinking.
Cause it tastes like sugar and spice and everything nice. Close your eyes, I'll make you realize you're winning in life, yeah. You're winning in life. You taste like sugar and spice and everything nice. Close your eyes, I'll make you realize you're winning in life, yeah. You're winning in life.
Call me a number one, baby, you can call me a Superman. Chochote utataka nitakupa man. You're my girl.
Call me a number one, baby, you can call me a supergirl. Chochote unataka nitakupa, nitakupa. You're my man. I wanna climb to the top of the mountain, let you cruise on this endless sea. Open up the windows to your soul. I want you to see what you do to me. Watch my spirit melt into your arms. Freeze this time so we'll never be apart, baby. I know you're comfortable under my skin, so don't let go. Pull me close, let the energy flow from my head to my toes. Like this bliss, let's get lit. Wake back up, then we do it again, baby.
Call me a number one, baby, you can call me a Superman. Chochote utataka nitakupa man. You're my girl.
Call me a number one, baby, you can call me a supergirl. Chochote unataka nitakupa, nitakupa. You're my man.
Somebody call for my girl, call for my cure, call for my lover. Cause when the sunlight's at west side, you're always gonna be my number one.
Somebody call for my man, call for me cure, call for my lover. Cause when the sunlight is at west side, you're always gonna be my number one. Tell me how you want it, daddy. Tell me how you want it, poppy. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy.
Tell me how you want it, mommy. Tell me how you want it, mommy. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy.
Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy. I'll make you happy, I'ma make you happy. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me what you want, I'ma make you happy.
Welcome back. Good afternoon, everyone. Flo is laughing at me because I was about to start the show without the mic in hand. Yo, thank you so much for making me part of your day. There's so much traffic when I was coming here. It's a Friday and it's end month, and I'm sure people are ready to sherehe. Now, let's start with what I'm seeing right now. The Standard, it says, murder mystery, a respected mental health researcher gunned down in broad daylight. A murder that bears the hallmarks of a professional hit, but as detectives tighten the net around persons of interest and sift through the forensic evidence, they are also retracting a trail that stretches back more than 2 decades through a bitter divorce, bruising courtroom battles, and a fiercely contested property dispute. The assassination of clinical psychologist Dr. Victoria Mutisu has revived memories of the brazen killing of lawyer Matthew Bobu, I hope I say that right, who represented the former husband of a woman now at the center of the investigation, raising fresh questions about whether the two murders are connected. I did not know that. Wow, I'm also here, I'm seeing at the top right here, Kalonzo did address rumors of him being wooed by this administration. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka yesterday dismissed the speculation that he would join the government ahead of next year's general election, insisting that he remains firmly committed to the united opposition. Now, well, this weekend was pregnant with anticipation, especially for the Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna from his political tour of Western Kenya, his appearance on The Explainer on Citizen TV. He's right at the center of the country's political conversation. We'll break down what happened in Western Kenya, where both Sifuna and President Ruto were making the case to the region. And I'll also share my honest thoughts on Sifuna's interview and what it tells about our current political landscape. We'll also look at the president's address to the nation yesterday at 7 p.m., where he unveiled a new economic blueprint that will take Kenya beyond Vision 2030. What exactly is being promised? And why are we not still sticking to Vision 2030? Because we're in 2026. It hasn't lapsed yet. Then we'll ask a question that's becoming harder to ignore. Is a Gen Z vote now the swing vote heading into the 2027 general election? We'll also examine the promises this administration seems to be making at speed as the campaign season begins to take shape. Are these long-term plans or campaign commitments? And finally, we'll look at the growing cracks within cabinet and what they could mean for the government going forward. There's one more thing I think we really need to touch on is the IEBC bill that is being proposed. That's very important to talk about. And if you like how that sounds, I dare you to stick with me. Before that, let's go on a short break just to warm up a little before we dive head on.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
This will be over, and a step at a time, hoping he will show up Nikioma. I've been on a tough road for so long that I need it over. My mind game got to be so strong, I fight like a soldier. Long days, long night, a man still see a jump in the mirror. Always gonna be alright, cause mama gave a birth to a winner. Life making it a lemon, it has squeeze, make some lemonade. Now his streets with jam my demons, I'ma pull up with some grenade. Sicko, sicko fiti, sicko, sicko, sicko fiti, sicko, sicko fiti, sicko, sicko, sicko fiti, sicko, sicko fiti, sicko, sicko, sicko fiti, sicko, sicko fiti, sicko, sicko, sicko fiti. My mind game got to be so strong. I fight like a soldier. Long days, long nights, I might still see you jump in the mirror. Always gonna be alright, cause mama gave her back to arena. Life faking it, lemon, it I squeeze, make some lemonade. Now his streets, me jump my demons, I'ma pull up with some grenades.
And welcome back. Now, if there was one political story that dominated this weekend, the past weekend, it was what happened in Western Kenya. So on one side, President Ruto was on his development tour. And on the other hand, you had Edwin Sifuna, who was also holding political rallies across the region. Now, Sifuna's tour had triumphant entries in Bungoma, Kisumu, Voi, and Kitale, with Trans Nzoia being the political stronghold of the Speaker Moses Wetangula, showed that Sifuna's rallies were attracted significant attention. Now, the TIFA poll emerged when Sifuna was touring the country, showing him as the opposition's most preferred presidential candidate. According to the poll, he has overtaken Rigathi Gachagua, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Fred Matiang'i. The president still remains with the lead with 24% when Sifuna stands at 15%. However, in May, he was at 10%, marking the largest gain among opposition candidates. Among ODM supporters, Sifuna leads with 44% compared to Ruto's 20%. Within Linda Mwananchi, led by Sifuna, he stands at 74%, while Linda Ground, led by Oburu Oginga, is at 20%. The MP of South Suba South, Carly Omondi, claimed on Spice FM that the government had barricaded Kakamega Airport and deployed goons. So very similar to what had happened in Olkalau. And he alleged that the government spent 5 million shillings in each constituency across Western Kenya. Now, despite those claims, he said that residents in Kisumu lined across the roads from the airport to welcome Sifuna to show their support. Meanwhile, President Ruto, while speaking in the ACK church pertaining to the rise of goonism, he said, they graduated from Maandamano to goons and they're causing problems everywhere. I thought that was such an odd statement to make, because what does that even mean? Is it that you had the goons that were walking side by side with the police that are causing issues everywhere? Or is he talking about the protesters who have graduated to becoming goons and causing havoc everywhere? Now, the question is, why is Sifuna gaining popularity at such a high rate within a few months? In May, he was at 10% and he rose to 15%, according to the TIFA poll. Now, whether you support Sifuna or not, he cannot be ignored. But what was interesting, over the weekend, the president posted on X saying, the opposition are an existential problem to our country. They are not only a threat to our economy, but also to the future of our children. We ask Kenyans to rally behind this government, a transformative administration that is driving growth and expanding opportunities for everyone. So, based on what he said, does that mean that those who support the opposition are an existential threat to the country? Another question is, should an opposition in a democracy be viewed as a threat to the country? Isn't the whole point of the opposition existing supposed to keep those in power in check, accountable, responsible? Or rather, there should just not be any opposition. But then again, this could simply just be a campaign rhetoric. Let us know in the comments. But I find that what he had posted on X quite polarizing, don't you think? But again, this is proving that Sifuna is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. You see, a few months ago, he was nowhere on the president's radar. But once the president started addressing Sifuna, he becomes a formidable candidate. What I find interesting is the people organically elevated Sifuna into the presidential conversation even before he had officially declared his intentions. Now, the same can be said for Rigathi Gachagua in regard to you cannot ignore his intel. I was just talking to the producer and I was asking her, like, where is he getting this information from? Like, he has been a thorn in the president's flesh for the past 2 years, ever since he was removed as deputy president. And Rigiji is not relenting, as we would say, ana-inject, kabisa. Now, what's fascinating is that the two most influential opposition politicians today were political creations of attempts to destroy their careers. Sifuna has been removed as a deputy whip. He has been removed from the ODM party. You have politicians slinging mud at him. It just won't stick. We'll talk about that a bit later on. So you see this trend, especially with previous deputy presidents. Now, do you think that the ODM breakaway gave rise to Linda Mwananchi? Because what they did, Linda Mwananchi, that is, they broke away from the broad-based government because its leaders opposed to that arrangement. Now let's get to the good stuff. The Explainer with Edwin Sifuna on Citizen. On Tuesday, you had him on Citizen on The Explainer. And let me just give you a short summary of some of the points that stood out to me. He clarified that the Bungoma rally was not a homecoming. We saw in the newspapers, basically the media headlining that he was, because that's where he's from, that's his homecoming. If anything, what he said was Nairobi would be his homecoming because that's where he serves. He's a senator of Nairobi. And Kenya, he argued, is his home. He did not explicitly declare that he's running for president. He had to repeat himself over and over again. You had Yvonne who was trying to, ask the question in a different way just to corner him and so that he can reveal what his intentions are. But what he did say in that regard is that he cannot run away from the call of the government of the country and the call of this generation. He insisted that for now, his priority is completing the nationwide tour and reaching as many constituencies as possible. Once that process is complete, Linda Mwananchi should be in a position to give a definitive answer on its presidential ticket. He also believes that if the opposition presents a united front, it could form a new government within the next 12 months. Now, this is my opinion on the interview. It's subjective. Obviously, you guys can let me know in the comments what you actually thought about it. I had someone DMing me saying, they found it a bit underwhelming. You had others saying that he's the right candidate. Sometimes I usually in the cab, I try to talk to the cab drivers just to see what they would say about him. A lot of people are saying that he is inexperienced, but based on the interview, these are my thoughts. He came across to me as quite sober-minded, considering the great reception he got in Western Kenya. At first, when Yvonne was asking him about his intention, whether he would he's vying for the presidential seat, at first I thought he was deflecting the question. But as I continued watching the interview, what appeared to me is that he's aware that the euphoric excitement and hype could be premature. Not that it's not valid, but it could be premature, and that he is not going to get carried away by the excitement around the possible presidential bid. And that is because we can all admit that the political climate right now is quite sensitive, and the political temperature it changes very quickly. One moment, we've established that human beings can be quite fickle. One moment they're singing praises of you, the next moment they want to bring you down. So what he repeatedly emphasized was that the movement was not about him. That's very important, that if you have politicians who say that, or leaders rather, well, synonymous, but that it wasn't about him, it's the movement is not about him, and the movement is bigger than Sifuna. I think what he does understand is that he does represent somewhat of a political renaissance. He's a millennial. He does represent hope in some ways. He, as Senate, he has proven to actually go toe-to-toe with members of parliament who say have voted for the finance bill, or they try to propose bills that are not in accordance to the constitution, or rather do not serve the Kenyan people. So he does represent a shift from the old style of politics to something new. More importantly, what I would say is that he placed the responsibility back to us, the citizens. Now, what we should do is examine the candidate's track record. I think we like to say that, but do we really? And that we should make a sound judgment, not based off of hype and excitement, because there's this young new leader who is very similar to Raila Amolo Odinga, in his prime. And we shouldn't make decisions just based off of the euphoric excitement, and because we need, there's that need that we need an immediate solution, like a Band-Aid. He did explicitly say that the presidential seat, if he does eventually run for it, that it is secondary to him. So this is one thing that I'd like to say. And as much as there is excitement regarding these new political leaders emerging, that we should not be looking for a savior. That is the old political cycle, because if we do that, these issues will keep perpetuating itself. We're creating the same cycle that we've seen. We see a man or a woman who represents or gives or offers or is somewhat a symbolic of hope, but 4 years down the line, look at our country now. And we need to learn our lesson that we cannot surrender our agency to one individual. Now, yesterday, according to the Standard, former National Treasury CS Njuguna Ndung'u has argued that the president is overrunning state institutions. Former AG Justin Muturi has also accused President Ruto of interfering with the institutions, claiming that they had repeated friction between the executive and the judiciary over court rulings that delayed or blocked government policies. Now, do you remember Justin Muturi, the AG, was removed last year when we rejected the finance bill, the protests erupted. And then when Ruto dissolved the cabinet, he was one of them that was removed. We always, whenever we talk about these issues, isn't it interesting that we always refer back to 2024? Because it is a monumental year. And it will go down in Kenya history as one of those pivotal points that is reshaping Kenyan politics. Now, before we go on a break, let's shift our focus on how some politicians are responding to ordinary Kenyans, and then we will touch on the address by the president. We'll be right back.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
This is how we get down. Karibu Nairobi, where we don't play. We got the mirror selling gomba every day. How many killer weekend in my city? Who on your phone? All night long, was it fun to the break of dawn? Shorties walking around, spotting the bones. 5 in the morning, singing the happy
kaku paka pilau mnatia dam tarbush biryani kuku scale dam when you bitch party na potezea na mashori na tokezea na watoto wa kimanga wote wamegaga ni mgongoni hina mkono mswaga by the beaches, we love the cool breeze. Holidays, blow hella, wageni waje wapone matches. Land of my birth, Mombasa, mji wa rana anasa. We utakoma, chakacha na msondo ngoma.
Kenya's capital city, Nairobi is a place to be. Sip some pili, gotta go from Shatta, what's the deal? What's the deal? I'm in Mercury.
Nimetuliza Bella V na Bill CV.
Okay, what behind my cheese? In my bread, and enjoy the cool breeze. My city, my town. This is how we do it, this is how we get down. My city, my town. This is how we do it, this is how we get down. My city, my town. This is how we do it, this is how we get down. My city, my town. This is how we do it, this is how we get down. My city, my town. This is how we do it, this is how we get down. My city, my town. This is how we do it, this is how we get down.
And we're back. Now, we touched on, I mentioned that how some of the politicians are basically mocking, Kenyans, and they are, and as the political temperatures continue to rise, we're also beginning to see just how these politicians are responding to ordinary Kenyans who are choosing to fund political campaigns with their own money. We've seen people give out 10 bobs, 50 bobs, willingly, hard-earned money. Now, some of the reactions have been quite telling. The phrase, hana pesa, in my opinion, it's such an unwise line of attack because the people who are supporting Sifuna or who choose to support whatever candidate that they want with their own money, in many cases, live hand to mouth. Sifuna, in the interview, actually, he recalled a woman at the market who handed him a old 50 bob note, fully aware that it would cost her because she genuinely believed it would contribute towards change. It was symbolic to her as opposed to the amount she was giving. For someone who has very little to still sacrifice something because they believe in an idea, it just isn't something to mock. Now, when these politicians ridicule sacrifice, in doing so, they just reveal how detached they are from the realities of ordinary Kenyans. You had Jalango, who also threw jabs at Sifuna, looking down on his modest country home. You have Senator Samson Cherargei, who went as far as claiming that photos from the Linda Mwananchi rally in Bungoma are AI generated. This is when they can't believe what they're saying, they'll just revert to, this is AI generated. In contrast to the ordinary Kenyan giving 10 bob, the 20 bobs to whom they choose, let's compare that to what we're seeing on ground. You had footage from June 14th that showed MP Didmas Baraza standing on top of the car in Tongaren, Bungoma, throwing bundles of cash into a crowd as he campaigns for the Bungoma seat in 2027. You have videos, again, of residents in Western Kenya saying, two-term, but when receiving the money, but then at the ballot, they'll vote one-term. You also had I watched another resident being interviewed on KTN who, to paraphrase, said, even we want cows. but we'll still vote for our own Sifuna. Another resident said, All Kalau showed us the way, and the money that they're giving us is our right. Now, we all know All Kalau set a precedent, but isn't it interesting? Usually you don't hear residents outside of Nairobi, they usually don't talk like this. I mean, it just shows that there is a political consciousness that is spreading, or rather has been awakened in the Kenyan people. And if you look at the guys who are being interviewed, these are very young people as well. Now, going back to the vote of bribery, there's also footage of MP Zahir handing out cash at various public events. But he also remains closely associated with the UDA party. The same allegations have touched leaders such as MP Fatima Mohammed, Kisumu Senator Tom Ojienda, Kakamega Deputy Governor Ayub Savula. The bigger question is, if citizens are voluntarily contributing 50 shillings to a political movement, they're ridiculed. But when politicians dish out cash to voters during campaigns, somehow that's treated like it's normal. So before we even talk about the youth vote, just to understand how important it is for the Gen Zs to come out, first of all, to register, to come out and vote, let's talk about Ruto addressing the nation. Yesterday, the president addressed us at 7 p.m. and he unveiled a new economic blueprint that will succeed Vision 2030. As Gachagua came out just a few hours before, he said, this is Vision 2060. How he even had that intel is insane to me. Now, this is what the president said, a portion of what he said. He said, 4 years ago, the priority wasn't to imagine Kenya's next chapter, but to survive global economic turbulence, restore stability, and rebuild confidence. Together, we can achieve that. So the past 4 years, we've been surviving. But then now, after this new blueprint, we will begin to thrive. I mean, okay. He also argued, let me just hold my thoughts just for a little bit. He also argued that borrowing costs and inflation have declined, amongst other things. The challenge here is that most of us, we're not feeling that reality. The president also said, we should ask ourselves, he said, we should ask ourselves why other nations have fulfilled so much of the potential while we've repeatedly fallen short. Is this a joke? But let me answer that question. You know, let's actually do this. Let's measure these promises for Vision 2060 or beyond, this new blueprint, this new economic blueprint, including his manifesto when he became president, against the realities on ground today. According to the World Bank projections, around 2.4 million more Kenyans will fall into poverty by the end of this year. 2.4 million Kenyans. The president promised 4 million jobs, but even when direct and indirect employment figures are combined, they don't come close to 300,000. The government expenditure that is plaguing this country. We continue to witness enormous, colossal amounts of public money being spent on salaries, travel, allowances, conferences, international meetings across both national and county governments. Do you know how much Parliament alone borrowed just to finance the parliamentary travel? 19 billion Kenyan shillings. Let me just name all the things that's happening right now. Kenya continues to lose 3 billion shillings every single day. By the time today has finished, 3 billion through wasted and corruption. We're dealing with an administration that continues to face accusations of extrajudicial killings and abductions, and the suppression of dissent where we are scared to exercise our right. Insecurity remains a very serious concern. If left unchecked, we talked about this in the last show, we will see a rise of organized militia similar to what the country experienced in 1992 and 2007. I mean, just this past Sunday, the CCTV footage captured another daylight robbery inside a beauty shop, reportedly along Gakundo Road. A beauty shop, you could be doing your hair and then bam. At the same time, we continue to shoulder the heavy tax burden. We have the public debt that now stands at 12.82 trillion shillings, of which 60% is domestic debt. I mean, let's talk about our education, the higher education, the institutions. Moi University reportedly owes the government 12 billion shillings. You have Kenyatta University, reportedly owes 12.8 billion shillings. Oh, and then there's the 900 million stadium in Wajir. Ironically, only months earlier, this is in January, about 170,000 residents in Wajir had been classified as food insecure during the drought, with many households projected to slip into emergency levels of hunger. So that's phase 3 and phase 4. And if they were not assisted, they would not actually live. That is the state. But you've got the 900 million stadium in Wajir. I mean, that's beautiful. Let's talk about our healthcare. SHA, right? The government continues to insist SHA is working because millions of Kenyans have registered. We've registered so many people. Registration alone does not prove that the healthcare system is working. Do you know what proves that it's actually working? If Kenyans are receiving quality, affordable, and timely healthcare. Now, you had the Auditor General last year, Dr. Nancy Githungu. She revealed in her audit, and once she revealed this audit, she was called crazy and all manner of nonsense because she was doing her job, basically. Now, she highlighted the procurement violations, dubious contracts, the financial risks surrounding the 104 billion Kenya shilling project. I mean, these amounts are so ridiculous. I can't even wrap my head around 104 billion. Do you remember back in the day, not to say that corruption was better at that time, or rather it was not wrong, but the moment you heard billion, it would shake you to your core. Right now, we're just throwing billion everywhere. You had the last year unpaid NHIF, NHIF was a healthcare system that was working. It had its own issues, but it was working. But it had debts of 10 billion shillings, which means it forced several dialysis centers to shut down, leaving patients facing life-threatening uncertainty as they struggle to access treatment. So now many hospitals continue to demand cash. This is the reality on ground right now, currently, as we're speaking, because of system failures, while thousands of Kenyans, especially those in rural areas, they remain locked out of the healthcare system. But no, you contribute the 2.5%, right, of your salaries to SHA. But why? Because people are registering. It's working because people are registering, not because of all these other things that we've mentioned. You can continue to give promises 4 years later and 1 year later before the election. I mean, it's just promises. Nothing has been fulfilled. Or if it hasn't been done in either legitimate ways, or it's not even adequate. Shortcuts have been taken. There's a comment that I saw which made me laugh. Because when Rigiji said that the president was going to reveal the new blueprint, the economic blueprint, and he labeled it 2060, there's a comment that said, I think right now we should ask him who the sixth president is going to be, because he seems to have more intel than DCI, than the whole government. How is he getting all this information? I think that's the overarching question. Now, after the break, we'll look at the growing cracks within government, We'll also talk about the Gen Z, briefly talk about the Gen Z vote, just so that if you are watching this and you are a young person or within that bracket, you need to understand why it's important to register and to vote. Not just register. Yeah, because, right now everything is, if you register, it's working. But to also vote. And ask whether internal divisions are beginning to expose deeper problems inside this administration. We'll be right back.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Yes, tunazidrop kama hourglass. Rhymes za mwakika in abundance. Mike nikishika ni kundi ya lala. Na juu ya beat na anguka kama avalanche. Cover some, make sure umepata some. Usikie utam na ka ina slap confirm. Nimeshikilia hii game for long kwa pam. Usinilete mankino orangutan. Bado niko, ni muhimu kukapitia. Juu chini kama siso. Apirati lipima hizia. Hivyo leo basi tunasababisha. Ndo tutande sana ibei. Wasanii na wakilisha. Ambia wadau wafike bei. Au sio? Niyo kuwa extra ordinary. Ndio maana niko extra. Ebana niko extra ordinary. And I'm so extra ordinary. Kila kitu ni extra. Kila kitu ni extraordinary. Full circle. Wa full circle. Tulichangia quarter zikapita nusu na pia kuna truth hapo. Look up in the sky you guy. I and I fly too high. Kando nina ripe no bilai. Si watafurahi nikisikia hii muziki. Nikisikia miuchizi. Wacha niseme cha uela. No chichimini wa makwela. Sio kesi, mbona uongezi. Volume iko sawa kuna dawa. Sando kuna chacha. Kani kikulacho unakacha. Joni kini macho wena gacha. Niyo kuwa extra ordinary. Ndio maana niko extra. Ebana niko extra ordinary. And I'm so extra ordinary. Kila kitu ni extra. Kila kitu ni extraordinary. Niyo kuwa extra ordinary. Ndio maana niko extra. Ebana niko extra ordinary. And I'm so extra ordinary. Kila kitu ni extra. Kila kitu ni extraordinary. Kisha wejua utapewa. Kuna wale wanachora na wale uchorewa. Delivery ni simple lakini tofauti. Mikono generali. Kisha wejua utapewa. Kuna wale wanachora na wale uchorewa. Delivery ni simple lakini tofauti. Mikono generali piga saluti.
And we're right back. Now, I just, there's something that I hadn't touched on and I think it's really important. It still ties into, some of the realities on ground, our healthcare system. Now, do you remember when it was on Wednesday, wasn't it, that there was a countrywide power outage? And some of the questions we asked, I mean, if you are, let's just say, fortunate enough that things are not, you can't really understand like on ground that maybe, sure, there was a power outage for 5 hours. Maybe you couldn't charge your laptop or your phone, blah, blah, blah. This is the reality on ground. Now, the Garissa referral, I'm just reading directly from X. Someone's posted this, that the image, there's a video of patients in Garissa Hospital during the power outage, and that these patients who are on dialysis, we just touched on that. Now, without power, they cannot have this process continue, because what will happen is the patient's body will just clot. There will be blood clots after some time. Now, as a nurse in the renal unit, we'll just watch the patients die. You can imagine the trauma. This is the reality. The machines shut down and the patient's life slip away. This is the level of bad governance. Let's actually just go directly to what Aden Duale. He just seems to be in the headlines for all the wrong reasons, just dominating the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Now, he's the one who's overseeing the Shah healthcare system. Now, he made remarks, translated from Somali, suggests he told residents in Mandera County that he personally advised President Ruto to remove 8 cabinet secretaries from the Mount Kenya region. Now, these remarks triggered political debate within government ranks. You had the leaders such as the Deputy President Kindiki, Alice Wahome, Rebecca Miano, and the other 5. Now, Duale insisted that his remarks were taken out of context and that he will not apologize. You know, this was so serious that the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, together with the Interreligious Council of Kenya, held a joint press briefing saying that they will closely monitor hate speech and dangerous political rhetoric ahead of 2027 elections in coordination with the National Police, because we saw what happened in 2007 post-election violence. At the same time, lawyers Lempa and Gitahi have filed a petition seeking to have Duale declared unfit to hold public office over those remarks. These are not the only remarks that he has said that are quite inflammatory, just to show where his priorities lie. We can reportedly say that he does not care for the Kenyan people. I think just seeing this, it's different when sometimes you report these things, but, when you see videos of patients who cannot get basic health care, that people will unnecessarily die because of dubious contracts, because of the Shah. One of the things that the audit report exposed was that this colossal project had severe hemorrhaging of finances. Remember, you're paying 2.5% from your pay slip, which is already hard enough in this country. On top of that, you're paying tax and new levies. But then you're told constantly, oh, everything is working. Oh, you people just like to complain. Well, there are people dying. I mentioned that you have a stadium in Wajir. No water, no boreholes. I think a borehole, just one borehole, could take maybe 3 million shillings to sink. But then, no, you do a 900 million shilling stadium. It's so ridiculous. But moving on, we'll talk about a bill that seeks to end the live stream of election results. Now, there's a proposal that should concern each and every one of us, and even regardless of your political affiliation, because this amendment proposes removing the legal requirement that compels the IEBC to live stream results directly from the polling stations. If passed, this is what it means. The commission would no longer be legally required to broadcast polling station results live from the public and for us and the media to follow. And then those responsible for proposing these bills, I'm going to say their names, is Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheriot and Senate Minority Leader Stuart Madzayo. At the same time, thank God that you had Senator Okiam Tata, who moved to court seeking to declare tallying of presidential results at the tallying center unconstitutional, and that final presidential result should be declared at the constituency level, just like what we saw in Ol Kalau. If this bill is passed, how are we assured that elections results will not be tampered with? Isn't this a step backwards if the bill is approved? If these safeguards are not put in place, it actually risks us. It's taking us back to the days of the 2010 Constitution. And I wonder who actually opposed that Constitution. You can take a guess. Why don't you write that in the comments? There is one prominent leader who opposed the 2010 Constitution from being implemented. Now, live streaming was introduced to strengthen transparency, rebuild public confidence after the 2007 post-election violence. Also following the disputed 2013 elections, 2017, and 2022. That is what you call democracy. We need to have confidence in the electoral process because it needs to be transparent, it needs to be credible, it needs to be worthy of public trust. Our trust has been eroded so much in this government. There was it last show where the Okalawan residents were stopping the police. They're like, okay, you know what? You search us, but then even us will search you so that we make sure that no results are tampered with. And we will escort you to the polling station so that we make sure that the person whom we've elected is done so fairly and abides and elected democratically. Now, before we move on to another story, let's see, do we have time, Miss Producer? We'll move on to one more story that caught my attention, and then we'll end it with something positive. So, in this next segment, I asked myself, what are the government's priorities? I'll leave it with that. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
Tumekuja kupati, DJ hebu weka traki, tukule happy, halafu tufungue sakafu, sababu inabamba, inashika, wingu la tisa inatufikisha, ukiachilia mahewa, manze DJ unatubeba. Kwenye dance floor, show us your what. Unanoki, hauchoki. Kwenye dance floor, hautoki. Unahisi, hii muziki. Unahisi, nameless na mimi.
It's nameless. Eliza, in conjunction with Ogopa, tumekuja kuhakikisha kwamba speakers zinasikika. Hey yo mister, are you a member? Hey yo sister, wacha kulenga. Can't you see that I'm talking to you? Sasa weka mikono juu. Mr. Brother, wacha kuzuba, ukisleki hautapata.
Fungua macho, floni yako, cheza wimbo kama ni wako, cheza wimbo kama ni wako, sababu huu wimbo ni wako.
Iza hatucheki na watu,
nameless hatucheki na watu,
ma MC hatucheki na watu,
Ogopa hatucheki na watu. Unahisi hizi flow za Afrika, unahisi kama unakatika. Can you feel this front till the rear? Can you feel this up in here? Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba.
Ukikatika na hingoma, just be cool as a cucumber.
Na tumekuja kupati, ambia wenzetu samahani, hawako nasi na tuko nao, basi wametupa mbao, sababu inabamba, inashika, wingu la tisa inatufikisha, ukiachilia mahewa, manze DJ unatubeba. Boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba, boom ba boom ba, boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, boom boom ba.
Ukikatika na hingoma, just be cool as a cucumber.
Now we're back. Oh my gosh.
From sunrise to
Nona,
sunset.
I got
all
this
day
report.
and night.
I'm even pressing the wrong
Radio.
buttons, but welcome to Power Radio. Now, wow, this is the priorities of the this Kenyan government, this administration, and sometimes the numbers themselves just tell the story. Now, nianze wapi? Let me start with this link that my producer has actually sent. I mean, it's just comical. The Nairobi County Assembly has allocated 20 million to the 2026-2027 budget to build a monument and statue honoring former Prime Minister Raila Odinga in Nairobi's Central Business District. Now, where is that money going to come from? There's another thing that the government is prioritizing. I think even before that, last year during the 2025 National Prayer Breakfast, we paid 26.3 million shillings. Doombe. Shall I continue? Because the boring continues. Let's see. Actually, before even I talk about the boring, oh my gosh, this boring is just going. I think after this, you're just going to faint. Let's see what the governor of Nairobi, Sakaja, said that he is going to do. This is part of the campaigning. Would you say it's a campaigning tactic, or is it just, or do they actually mean it, or is it just promises being made? Now, he said that he unveiled plans for an underground railway system, saying that the Nairobi mass transit system is the ultimate solution. This is what we needed for traffic congestion. This is the thing we've been waiting for. And do you know how much it's going to cost? 7 billion, not shillings, dollars. My producer is even shocked. Dollars. All right, now let's pull back. Let's go qua ground, yeah? You want this mass transit system, but wasn't it just a few months ago that we experienced one of the worst flooding in recent history in Nairobi and even some other parts of the country? Our drainage system is still inadequate. In many places, it's barely functioning. You have urban planning and zoning remaining to cause major challenges. Our rivers are under pressure, the Nairobi River. Green spaces continue to disappear. Our forests that are protected remain under threat. I mean, can I be honest with you guys? I don't even know when he was given this proposal. I don't know how people actually kept a straight face when he just said, this is what we need. This is what we needed. And it's going to cost us $7 billion. Yes, but people are dying because they cannot pay for basic health care, for water, just basic needs. I mean, isn't it fun to be Kenyan? How are you feeling about this? And then I bet you, let's just take a guess where this money is going to come from. Let's just take a guess, right? Is it new taxes? Is it new levies that's passed when we're looking to the right and then we look to the left? It's already assented and it's passed into law. Beautiful stuff we're dealing with here. Now, the president also announced that the government will pay certification and insurance fees. Now, these are some of the promises that he gave in the midst of the campaigning for the general elections in 2027, that he will pay certification and insurance fees for skilled artisans who lack formal qualifications, saying that the program is already available. He further urged private companies to pay interns at least 5,000 shillings every month. Look, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but now the question is, I mean, after 4 years, you choose to do that now? It's been 4 years. I mean, why are these promises? Like, nothing has been, at the very least, it should have been implemented within, 100 days of the administration? Also, I mean, with the inflation and in the midst of the cost living crisis, 5,000 shillings a month. Now, I'll leave you guys with something a little bit positive. I will burden you with more information next week. But we'll end this segment on something a little bit more hopeful. It made me smile, actually, because in the midst of this bleakness, is that one of the biggest challenges we face as voters is accessing information about the leaders that we elect, right? I think we can agree that. You have 25-year-old Ellen Kawila, who is trying to change that. She built this system called the Track Minister, a civic technology platform designed to help citizens monitor the performance of elected leaders. Now, the platform allows you to see how your member of parliament voted on different bills, their participation in parliament. We saw 187 were absent when voting for the 2026 finance bill. We will know who exactly those leaders are. Information on CDF and county allocation, spending, salaries, these parliamentary travels. I think it must have been one of the national newspapers where we've got governors that right now are actually billionaires. That's my money and that's your money. And details about these elected leaders from your MCA, your MP, your senator, your governor. Now, this is where accountability begins and it starts with information. I will end with this. If citizens don't know what their leaders are doing, it's really hard to actually keep them accountable. Even though you want to, it's nearly impossible to do that. Because you'll just find a bill has been assented, but then we don't know who has done what. That's why I on purpose actually mentioned the 2 senators who are proposing to pass the IBC bill where live streaming will not be allowed. So these platforms like this will make it much easier for Kenyans to move away from politics based on personality and towards politics based on performance. And just like that is our time for today. Thank you for riding with me and being part of the conversation. Until next time, I've been your lovely Flo host, your lovely host, Flo. Keep questioning, keep learning, keep having the conversations, but also don't forget to enjoy the little things too. Peace.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Some of them want to, they want to snap fingers and do the step. Kini kolabo na ogopat. Baby, hakuna mwingine ninayemtaka. Namshukuru Mungu nimekupata. Nimeng'ang'ana sana niwe namba moja. I will never ever find another girl like you. Kama penzi ni asali siminda mfuata huyo nyuki. Dawari ni bei gani? Samahani sikumbuki juu. Last time kucheki bei yako ilipanda juu. High class msichana unafaa kukuwa my baby boo. Busu lako lanifanya niwe busu kipa shafungwa. Hebu imagine ukifuse na rapa, usijali wendo naenda kuintroduce kwa mother. Baby, hakuna mwingine ninayemtaka. Namshukuru Mungu nimekupata. Nimeng'ang'ana sana niwe namba moja. I will never ever find another girl like you. Valentine's itakam early this year. When mrembo una every right ya kujisikia. Juroho ya umia, I'm missing my baby. Punde akinirudia, now we kissing like crazy. Bridesmaid wako tayari che. Ndoa inabisha so unitaraji yeah. When you partner mpoa so tufunge business kolo. Yes ndo mister and you are my missus. Baby, hakuna mwingine ninayemtaka. Namshukuru Mungu nimekupata. Nimeng'ang'ana sana niwe namba moja. I will never ever find another girl like you. Hakuna mwingine ninayemtaka. Namshukuru Mungu nimekupata. Nimeng'ang'ana sana niwe namba moja. I will never ever find another girl like you. Mwili yako ni ya hali ya juu, si siri, hata Beyonce has nothing on you. Machozi zitabidi zinamwagika Shakira akiona ukikatika. Juju na chemistry, physics poa pia biology, love lines undercover reverse psychology. I'm sorry, sita keep my distance. Usha cause effect flani man na mindo litmus.
Baby, hakuna mwingine ninayemtaka. Namshukuru Mungu nimekupata. Nimeng'ang'ana sana niwe namba moja. I will never ever 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 find another girl like you. Hakuna mwingine ninayemtaka. Namshukuru Mungu nimekupata. Nimeng'ang'ana sana niwe namba moja. I will never ever 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 find another girl like you.
Sama dem wote leo wote snap finger and do the step. Maze kuna all of that one chick maze, one chick. Hey, hey. Anafanya my live lines zina Jacqueline ka MP3 ki DVD DEP lover coming through baby holla
Hakuna mwingine ninayemtaka. Namshukuru Mungu nimekupata. Nimeng'ang'ana sana niwe namba moja. I will never ever 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 find another girl like you. Hakuna mwingine ninayemtaka. Namshukuru Mungu nimekupata. Nimeng'ang'ana sana niwe namba moja. I will never ever 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 find another girl like you.